Good morning, traders. Today is Friday, June 4th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Okay, so real quick, let's just talk about what happened in the market last night. The market pulled back down into the range where we spent most of the day grinding around down here at the lower levels. Very quickly found support, and then it pushed higher. Okay, so we are opening. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong spot. Pulled back down to here into the area and then pushed higher. Okay, so we are currently gapping higher. Looks like a small gap. The high of yesterday being around 42.0250. So the first thing that we'll be watching is a gap fill, right? Does the market pull back down and try to fill that gap? If so, does it find support before it gets to the gap fill? If not, it'll get to that gap. Once it gets to the gap, if it doesn't find support there, look for further downside continuation. If it gets to the gap and it does find support, look for the market to go long once again. Okay? A gap and go where it doesn't pull down at all, it just immediately pushes higher and continues, is the most bullish scenario. As you guys can see, once again, I don't understand what's happening. I feel like I'm cursed lately. But yeah, essentially, the data provider isn't working again this morning, and now I don't know why. Those of you that were with me yesterday, it didn't work because my credit card didn't run, but it did yesterday. I got it back up and running again, and now this morning it's not working. So once again, I just have to send an email to support. Long story short, I am leaving that data service, not using bar charts anymore. Can't keep having stuff go wrong. So anyway, I will be working on that, and as soon as I've got it sorted out, I'll have the market profile up here. But I'll be here to give my insights using the regular candlesticks as best I can so that I don't leave you guys hanging. All right, so right now, that is a gap and go. The market is just instantly pushing higher. Okay. Internals are bullish, but they usually need a good half an hour or so to settle into place early in the day. Because we opened outside of yesterday's range, as you guys know, opening inside of yesterday's range increases the odds of chop. Opening outside of the range increases the odds that the market pushes straight in the direction that it's going to go. So that's what makes gap and goes such potent signals. All right, let's wait and see what happens. Newsblip, I don't even know. You guys have no idea. I literally just like logged into my computer like 5 minutes before the market opened and then saw it was happening again. And I'm just so frustrated. I'm like, you guys, why? I've been using this service for over a year and had basically no problems. And now, as soon as I start charging people money, my service fails on me. It's ridiculous. So anyway, I'm working on it right now on the phone with another provider, trying to get set up with a different company. Should be up and running here soon. All right, so thus far, definitely a gap and go, which is bullish. Market internals, still looking bullish, looking good. They had some time to pull back in, and they're staying well above the zero line. So everything's looking good here for a continued push higher. Okay, so once again, working on getting that issue solved right now. But just looking at the regular candlesticks here, it looks good. It looks like a gap and go. Let me hop over here and just take a look at the SPX. All right, so NQs finally breaking out of that little resistance they were in yesterday. Yeah, I mean, all of this looks bullish to me. They may need to pull back down and find support as they do, but it feels like a buy the dip day. I'll change my mind if the ticks start to get negative here. They are trending down. The internals are trending down, but they needed to pull back in, right? First half an hour of the day because we had a gap up. So yeah, as long as we can remain above the zero line here with the ticks, this one's starting to drift in. But you know what I mean with the full candle, not the wicks. We should be able to keep pushing higher as the breakout for the NQ, the breakout of its balance, and for the ES, the continuation to the opposite end of the balancing area. So just look for the market to find support. See if that support can hold. If it can, might not be a bad day to go long. Potential support could come in here right around. Actually, let me put on the volume on this. Okay, so we should start to get support here at 4209 is where the big node of volume starts to step in there. So that's the next major support I see. Still looks like a gap and go. Yeah, Austin, I'm working on it. It's not working at the moment. The profile should be up and running soon. sigh of relief. And we're back. Back to the market profile. Okay, so what are we looking at here on the profile? Well, we did gap higher. Okay. And then we are one time framing higher on the gap and go. We are above the balance area high, which is bullish, right? So once again, the fact that yesterday we looked below that balance area low and we failed to go lower, that was a look below and fail. The most common thing that happens on a look below and fail is you trade to the opposite end of the balancing area, which was that high from 2 days ago. Okay, so the fact that we pushed higher in the A period, came back down and found support exactly on that level here in the B period, very bullish. Okay. Internals still trending down, so definitely got to keep an eye on those. But as of right now, the market is one time framing higher, value is higher, and we're just beginning to break out of a previous balancing area. Remember, balance leads to excess. So it would not be unreasonable to have a trend day higher today. Buy dips, sell rallies. Paul, market is at resistance. Oh yeah, there's a lot of resistance above. I stand corrected. No, it's not much. I think there is around these previous highs and stuff like that. There's some resistance up in here. But I'm not seeing much directly to the left. All-time high. Not that far off. Maybe even within reach today. If we can remain bullish. The internals don't look like we're going to have a day like that. The internals look like at some point we're going to run out of buyers and then go rotational. But purely breaking out of this balancing area could lead to excess to the upside. Could also lead to a look above and fail like we had here and like we had here, in which case we'll be looking to short for the rotation back to the lower end of balance. But we're not there yet. Still one time framing higher, still above that balance area. Great question on the t-shirt for yesterday. Let's take a look. So the closing price was, I'll zoom right in to make sure I get it right. It was $41.89.50. If anybody guessed $41.89, I'll go with that. $98. Ooh, almost got me. I'm just like, oh, $88. Design knob, bro. Bummer, dude. $1 off design knob. Oh, man. $87. $98. Another one. Malcolm, so close. Okay. Well, sorry, guys. Nobody nailed it. I think somebody got it at the M period close. Let's go see when that was. Oh, it's not showing me here where the M closes. Let's say 41.90. Did anybody pick that? Yeah, Jaus. Jiaosu? Am I saying that right? I'm probably saying that name all wrong. This person right here, Josu? Is that how you say it? Apologies if I'm messing that up, but you got the M period right, so I'll give you a free t-shirt. If this person here, Jiaosu SM, wants to reach out to me at ahoy@piratrators.io, I'll hook you up with a free t-shirt. There you go. There he is. He's in the chat. Yeah, dude, hit me up. The knob, so close, bro. So close. $1 off. House. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably have a hard time with that. And then I'll forget that you wanted me to call you Josh. So you're Jauso from from now on. You're whatever crazy thing I read. Yeah, no, I'll work on that. But yeah, reach out, brother. Ahoy@piratrators.io. Fausto is long this market. I see you, Fausto. You know, I know what you're looking at. You're seeing that gap and go. You're seeing that value is higher. You're seeing that we found support right at that balance area high. So once again, the only thing that would get me bearish here at this point would be the market trading back down into this balance area and spending some time down in here. It can come down real quick, look for support, and then push back above. But if it comes down here and it starts spending some time below this balance area high, that would start to feel bearish to me. Okay. Okay. Right here. Okay. Down. Good boy. Good boy. Huh?
Name that means God, salvation, of Spanish origin. Spanish, it would be said as Josué.
Oh. Okay. Oh man, I've had my mic on the whole time. Whoopsies. So as we print the C period here, we note that if we get back down into the balancing area that we've been stuck in for the last week, we're also going to get the cessational one time framing at the same time. So that's pretty much a signal that the uptrend is to an end, okay, and that we should be looking for further downside continuation. The reason being, the idea behind rotation is acceptance, is to absorb a move, right? So if we push higher, we get above the balance area high, but then we pull back in, we're increasing the odds we're going to rotate down. And then you add on top of that the fact that we've got the gap up. To me, it increases the odds that we need to fill that gap. So if the market is able to pull back down and get 2 ticks below the B period low, my thought is that the market will go rotational and that the lower end of that rotation will at the very least fill that gap to yesterday's high. So keeping a very close eye on the one time framing here. Bitcoin selling off this morning. I saw Musk's tweet last night and I was tempted to try to get into the futures and short Bitcoin, but I just didn't have the sense of urgency. Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq on the profile real quick. Ooh, Nasdaq just did a look above and fail. Dun 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 dun. So you guys can see this balance area. Oh, whoops, zoomed in a bit too much. You guys can see this balancing area that we've been stuck in. What happened the last time we looked above? Pulled all the way down to here, made another attempt, failed, pulled all the way down to here, made another attempt, couldn't get up to the high, pulled all the way down to here yesterday, and now we're failing at it again. Okay, let's see if the market can find support, backfilling these single prints left behind in the B period. Let me request that data again. Yeah, so as it backtests as it backfills these B period single prints down to about 13,707, that is an important area. We need to hope the market finds support in here, because if it continues to sell beyond that and you get the cessation of one-time framing here in the Nasdaq, you're definitely likely to rotate to the opposite end of balance. Okay. In the meantime, the ES continues to one-time frame higher. The internals don't look amazing, but they don't look bad either. The zero line is holding on the NYSE. We had a downtrend happening in the Nasdaq, but it seems to be coming to an end here. Same thing on the advancers versus decliners and the breadth. So the internals are slowly twisting their way back towards positive, while price remains positive. That is bullish. Yeah, on the market internals, looking so bearish while the market is bullish. Sometimes if you get a big gap higher in the morning, you got to give the internals time to kind of like settle into place. Obviously, the best case scenario is it opens up at a higher number and then it stays pegged up there for the rest of the day. That's like the most bullish thing you can see. But it's not necessarily bearish if it pulls down towards the zero line, as long as eventually that trend stops, right? If it keeps trending, that's very bad. But you could see as soon as the trend got down below the zero line here on the breadth, it pulled back up, and we didn't even quite get to the zero line here on the advancers versus decliners, and it's starting to push up. So not quite confirmed yet, but it feels bullish to me. Yeah, I agree that Nasdaq looks a little bit more bearish than the ES because it pulled back down into that balancing area. But like I said, if it finds support in the single prints, oh, I just started hearing a voice. I'm like, what is that voice? And then I remembered I had that White House live stream up. I guess President Biden's talking. Well, he's talking about the best jobs report in a long time, so hopefully that doesn't cause the market to sell off. That wouldn't make any logical sense. Unless it's like a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. But market continues to one time frame higher. I agree. To me, the market, it sees that all time high. It's like, ooh, look how close we are. We could go test that, right? We can go see if we can get up there. Do we get there today? No idea. But I see it up there. Malcolm, that's nothing I've ever looked at before. Is there a correlation between the Treasuries and the Nasdaq? Ah, I see. Okay. And good point, Salmon. That is another argument that could be made. That good jobs numbers means they'll print less money and give away less free money, and that could be seen as bearish by the market. But my assumption is that that's not going to change, immediately. I feel you, Arthur. My girlfriend got another deposit yesterday from the IRS because I guess with the last one, if they go back and look at your taxes, some people were owed more money. I've still never gotten a single penny of stimulus, but yet she keeps getting them. It's frustrating. I want free money. The Dow doesn't look bearish to me. Looks more rotational, but ready for a breakout. Everything feels bullish here. I love it when I say it and then I look at the internals and see, oh, nope. That trend is not coming to an end as I had hoped. Looks like we're still getting that downtrend in the internals. So once again, if they pull the C period below the B period low by 2 ticks, that is the cessation of one time framing and at the exact same time pulling us back into balance. So it's worth keeping a close eye on that level. But until then, assume support. Assume the trend is still intact as long as the one time framing holds. I mean, Naif, that's getting into like a whole nother conversation that's probably too elaborate to try to do via chat and me talking to myself into a microphone. Um, but yeah, I think the future economies of the world is going to be like exponentially different than what it is now. I think most of the jobs that people have right now that suck in terms of like like in terms of like physical unpleasantries, there'll be robots built to do all of those things. So the manufacturing, the farming, all those type of jobs. They're already creating lawnmowers that can mow your lawn all on their own. That will expand to cover everything, all the work you need to do in your yard. And so we'll switch into a new society where people don't have to do manual labor anymore to make stuff, but yet we still have the stuff. So we can still have the growth, and people will just have to find other ways to make money. And it will be interesting. Who knows what life will be like then? There'll be lots of philosophers and lots of psychiatrists. There'll be lots of artists, and lots of traders. Mediterra. That's the most pirate thing you could say, and I love it. There'll be a new wave of retail traders, and we can take their monies. Oh yeah, Paul. That's how we'll pay for it. We'll tax the robots, um, which means there'll be a lot more government generated income. People will just collect checks from the government. What is that called? Anyway, I'm blanking on the term for it, but yeah. But then it's like, what will they do with their time? It's not like people are going to want to just do nothing in life. One thing that jobs have provided us since the dawn of time was like something to do all day, like a task which requires completion. So the question becomes, when the machines can do it all, 50 years from now or whatever, what will humans be doing? Probably a lot of talking to each other. That's what it's going to be, lots of talking. Universal basic income, that's what I'm talking about. But no, universal basic income is not the same as welfare. It's not conceptually the same idea. The idea is just that instead of companies paying employees to do the work, the company pays taxes to the government, and then the government spreads that wealth to the employees. I mean, to the citizens. So it sounds crazy because we've all lived our whole lives on this old-fashioned way of doing things. But it is the direction that the world is moving. And so change is inevitable. Things are always in flux, always in change. This is one of those things. The way the economy functions will change in our lifetime. And so it's interesting just to imagine what life will be like at that time. Right, Paul? So then the question becomes, if there's no, shitty burger flipping jobs for teenagers to do, what will they do? Right? Will they have to find things they're passionate about? Will woodshop come back? Will people start just making stuff for the joy of making it? Will they learn to flip burgers for their family and their community as opposed to for money? Who knows? Hard to predict. Dude, that's probably truer than John. They'll be programming new burger meat. I love it. And no, unfortunately, even drug dealers will be out of a job, right? Amazon's taking over the drug industry. In the future, you won't even have to go to a doctor. You'll be able to prick your finger with a little pricker, put a drop of blood on a tab, put it into the USB of your computer. The computer will run a diagnostic and figure out what medicines you need right then at that moment to get you at peak physical condition. You'll pop you'll pop the button, the pill will come right out, and you'll just take the pill. There'll be no doctor necessary. There'll be no pharmacist necessary. Nothing. Exactly. You can already buy mushrooms and shit on Instagram. Somebody will automate this. Ryan, 100%. Yeah, I mean that was years ago that announcement came out that Berkshire Hathaway, Goldman, and Amazon were getting together to create like a pharmacy, and I was like, Jesus Christ, yep, everyone in America will get their drugs just delivered to them by Amazon. It's a lot easier than going to CVS. Malcolm sounds like a good plot for a sci-fi movie. You know, like everybody gets their food and their medicine from like a machine that's in their kitchen, and then somebody hacks everybody's machine simultaneously and just feeds poison to half the population. Or like they're hacking their way through it. Yeah, because there has to be like something for the good guy to try to beat. So like the hacker is like slowly hacking their way through one like household at a time, killing off people serial killer style. So like an investigative team has to like diagnose the IP address and then track the person down and send helicopters. This is gonna be a good movie. I like where this is going. Doggy, I love how you always remember all the little things that I share. You're becoming my best friend, bro. Oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah, no, that's the goal. The goal is to make $1 million trading and then make a movie. Definitely not going to make a sci-fi movie, but yeah, this is the way. So on the question of the market profile and looking for trades on trend days, um, I mean, again, as always, right? Looking for an entry to a trade is kind of based on your personal trading parameters and style and your comfort with risk and reward. But the way Jim Dalton says it is just go long, right? As soon as you recognize the trend, as soon as you feel like you're correct and the market is going to keep pushing higher, just get long and then monitor for continuation, right? Once you're in the trade, you then monitor. So as the day, we're going to print the D period here in a little bit. So let's say you went long somewhere in here, right? We're going to print the D period in about 1 minute. And then you could just say, I'm going to put my stop 3 ticks below the C, or 2 ticks below the C period low. I'll just put my stop right there. Let's say the D period trades. It's grinding around here. It pushes higher. E period prints. You do the same thing. You just move your stop up to 2 ticks below the D period and so on and so forth throughout the day. And as long as the market continues to trend, you stay in the trade, right? Because you're just below the previous low. And the trend means that the lows remain higher. So that's like one way to do it. But if trying to go long at the high of value, when the move is feeling exhausted, if that's too scary of an entry for you, you have to wait until you get pulled back near that low, then go for the entry where it's just a real quick risk reward, where you can have your stop just a few points below. So it's kind of up to you how you trade. But my advice, as soon as you recognize a trend either direction, just get in a trade. You can buy dips and sell rallies along the way, but just get started. Okay, C period single prints likely to get backfilled down here to the 42.1925 level. All right, guys. Well, here in the D period, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits on the public YouTube. Going to take it to the private stream. If you are not a member of the brigade, you are welcome to join. There's a link below in the description, or you can head on over to piratetraders.io and then just click right here where it says join today. It always goes really slow on my computer because I got 100 things going. Join the brigade. It's $10 a month. You just sign on up. You can use PayPal or a credit card to pay for it. It'll automatically charge it every month. And if you're sitting there saying to yourself, is $10 too much money? Can I not afford that? Just ask yourself, in an entire month of trading days, do you think I could say a single thing that would either save you $10 or make you $10? There's 20 trading days in a month. Just ponder that reality. The brigade is growing every day, and the community is awesome. I'm so excited about it. So anyway, switching over to that, if you're on the brigade, give me like 5 minutes, and then go check the link at piratetraders.io/live, and I will see you there shortly. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great rest of your day and an awesome weekend. Oh, as far as like a analysis to leave you with, the one-time framing is the thing to keep an eye on. If you don't have market profile software, you could just watch the chart. The candlesticks on the 15-minute does the channel. You can see how we're creating a channel up and to the right. Does that hold? Right? If that starts to break lower, you could potentially be seeing the end of the trend. Okay? Good luck and happy trading.